Hello everybody, welcome back to Pro Tabletop. My name is Brad and we're here with another tabletop simulator game. This is sped up 1,000%, so the camera is not going to be super smooth. We're not going to sit here and waste a bunch of time. It's a short video. So this is in the Art of War, I guess league, tournament, whatever you want to call it. So the guys over there, Nick and Richard and Mark and all the other guys that I can't name for the life of me. We love what you guys are doing and everything like that, and thanks for having us as part of this tournament. So I am playing a Grey Knights list. I've been practicing Grey Knights a little bit now, but I'm still fairly new at it. And I'm playing against some Iron Hands. So going into this, I was actually a little worried because Iron Hands are still a little beefy and stuff like that, and I got to play super cagey against them even more with Grey Knights. So we rolled off for attacker defender. He won the roll and he chose to go second and be the defender. Then he rolled deployments. He got spearhead assault and he chose to stay with that. So then I will basically start to deploy. And while I'm deploying, we'll kind of go over the secondaries. I picked recon, line breaker, and gangbusters. Now, and then he picked king of the hill, headhunter, and I don't remember what else right now. We'll have to see when the score pops up. But the reason I picked gangbusters is he has a lot of really hard things to kill. So like if I went with vehicles, I got to kill characters, I got to kill a dreadnought, and I'm still not going to max out my score. So chances of me maxing points is very, very little. And then if I chose characters, I got to go through all of his intercessors and stuff like that. And Centurions. So what I chose to do is go gangbusters because I think that the Centurions were going to be the easiest models to focus and pick up more than anything. And then if he does heal it with an apothecary, I can max my points out. So he had a really good list to where he's negating you points in every way. So you can only get 3 of the killing points unless he is to heal something like that. So that's kind of what I chose to go for. As you can see here, I deployed a little bit aggressive, and I kind of needed to see how he was going to deploy to decide what I was going to do. And it was, pretty obvious that he was going to, block off any deep strikes for in the future. But in turn 1, the gate, because, it's pretty obvious I'm going to either gate my paladins or I'm going to gate my dread knight, all the way into his back lines, and then I'm going to, just cause some havoc back there. So he blocks it off really well in the deployment. So I just kind of had to think about what I was going to do off of that. So after I saw him fully deployed, I kind of measured out, okay, here's where the dreadnoughts can move. Here's where they're going to be able to see and stuff like that. So in my turn, I wanted to mitigate him shooting as much as possible to try to make it so he can't get a kill. So my game plan was to make it to where he had to choose to go one way or another with the chaplain dreadnoughts. To shoot all the las cannons at a single target wouldn't be possible. So he would only be able to shoot one of those each at a target potentially, and then to basically outrange everything else that he had, hide my characters so he can't use CP to snipe them with the bolters. So I decided instead of being super aggressive with the paladins, I was going to be a little cagey. So I kind of just stayed here. And the plan was to use astral aim, and I was going to literally just lob shots over into the stalker bolter squad. And I was going to try to pick up a whole squad of stalker bolters and then maybe a 5-man squad, or I was going to split fire and do all the bolters into a 5-man squad and all the silencers into a 5-man squad. That was kind of my plan. And then I was just going to super buff them up in case he decided to, come up on me. And I moved the dreadnought in the back left there up on the top because I wasn't going to use astral aim on him. So I wanted to be able to just pick some shots off with him, maybe just, plink some wounds. Maybe I get lucky on damage rolls and stuff against the dreadnought. And then the dread knight over there, since he blocked me out for gating and stuff, there's no reason for me to be super aggressive and go and just like suicide with him. Instead, what I'm going to do in my psychic phase is I'm going to shoot and then move him. So I'm going to shoot him and then I'm going to move him basically back behind the wall right there like I just did. So that way nothing is going to be able to see him. So he's not going to get shot. Nothing's going to get shot. The only thing that could potentially get shot is the dreadnought that is up on the boxes. up there. And I was kind of okay with that because I could mitigate the damage a little bit from the stalker bolt rifles and stuff like that. So it's not that end of the world. And right now I'm holding all 3 objectives. I've got a Tech Marine holding the one over by the Dreadnought. I've got a Librarian over here on 5 behind the Ruin, and then I've got all the guys in the middle. So then his turn, he starts to move up and everything like that. He can't really get sights on anything. So what he starts to do is he kind of lines up for more board control, for more screening, and to make my deep strikes next turn next to impossible, and I can't get in his backline or anything like that. So very, very slow turn 1. I don't get a kill at all. All I get is holding 1. Then it goes to him. He's going to basically only target this Dreadnought in the back there because that's all he can see. So he shoots at it with a Chaplain Dreadnought. He shoots at it with the Stalker Bolt Rifles. I do use a stratagem to make the damage go down by 1 so that the Stalker Bolt Rifles are only doing 1 damage. And then I was hoping for just not a big roll if I was to fail on the Chaplain Dreadnought. So I failed 1 save. He rolled a 2 for damage, which would have been 1. He spent a CP, re-rolled it, got 1 damage. So the Dreadnought just does nothing. And then the Stalker Bolt Rifle is kind of the same thing. So he plinks down to a few wounds. But I do have that Tech Marine there who's able to heal him up to D3 next turn. So I really wasn't too worried about it. So nobody gets kills or anything like that right there. And then he says that he's going to charge his Centurions all the way up. So he makes the charge. He has a +2 to his charge. He does re-roll it, so he ends up getting a 10-inch charge, which turns into a 12-inch charge. So he makes the Centurions. And now at this point, I was like, okay, I'm kind of worried about this. So what I did is I actually blow 5 CP right here. I say, all right, I'm going to give the Paladins +1 to hit. I'm going to give the Paladins attack if they die, which is unfortunate for ones that are out of coherency. You can let us know. It doesn't really say in the stratagem. It just says they can fight as if they were activated in the fight phase. So I'm assuming that if they're out of coherency because they haven't been activated yet and they're not within 3 inches, they can't attack. So one of the guys died and wasn't able to attack. He did tank like 8 4-up saves. I didn't have Sanctuary on them. If I had Sanctuary on them, I probably would have lived even more. But he tanks like a bunch of saves, and then I end up losing 3 guys. And then they fight when they die, and then I had another 2 CP that I also spent for him to be wounding worse. So I want him to be wounding on 4s instead of 3s. Because I wanted as least amount of shots to go through as possible. So 3 guys die on mine. I attack back, do some damage, and then all my Paladins are going to pile in and attack him and wipe his entire squad. So I had a really, really good rebuttal right there. So he charged me. I maxed out my Gangbusters right there in turn 1. I can only get 3 points in the Gangbusters. I do get kill 1. Or I'm sorry, I don't get kill 1, but I do get kill more there then. So yeah, worked in my favor more. I'm able to consolidate a little bit forward, which gives my Paladins a lot better room for now what I want to do here. And I kind of figured like, okay, the Paladins did their job. So I'm very, very happy in what they've done in this game already. So I don't really care if they die at this point. So I'm going to hold the center board control, and I'm going to kind of just push him, and I'm going to try to pick up some more stuff with them. And then hopefully screen my characters from the Dreadnought for another turn. That's kind of my game plan. So then right here, I use the insertion where I can drop 3 inches within a unit with the Dread Knight. So I'm going to come all the way into his backline there, and kind of my game plan there was, all right, I can get behind enemy lines. He can help me get a recon. Well, no, he can only get one or the other. So he's going to help me get behind enemy lines because I got other guys that are going to get me a recon. And then I'm just going to either try to shoot at the Thunderfire Cannon or shoot at the guys right in front of me. And I should just shot the guys in front of me to then hopefully shoot at the Tech Marine later. But I shoot the Thunderfire Cannon, and yeah, it doesn't do too much, unfortunately. But I placed him in a way to where he's not able to see me with any of his infantry. And if he wants to see me with his Dreadnought, he has to come like super far back. So it was just a super placing for denial of like, this guy's going to live for the next 3-4 turns because you can't see me. And he's just going to shoot you, and then maybe charge you. So that's kind of the plan with him back there. And then I put this strike squad over here just basically to get a recon point. And then I wanted to use Vortex of Doom on the closest squad just to try to do more than just like smite mortal wounds. So I do change the tide into the smite tide, and I pretty much leave it like that the rest of the game. So the first tide that I started in was the damage and extra strength to PSI weapons, because I was going to shoot the paladins and blow a bunch of CP there. But because I couldn't do that because he denied my astral aim, there's just really no reason to stay in that because I'm past shooting with them at this point. So I'm going to go into the smite, and I'm going to stay in smite the rest of the game. So my paladins are going to shoot some shots at this squad over on the left-hand side of the L there. They don't really do much. The Dread Knight doesn't really do much. Plink a couple wounds off of guys and stuff like that. I do, with Vortex of Doom, get a D6. I got 12 on it, so I parried, but then it does D6 damage. I rolled a 6 on the damage, so it does a lot. It does really well. I do some more smites to a couple squads. I pick up all but one of the Stalker Bolt Rifle guys on the right, and that was a 9-man squad. So I was pretty happy with that. He was going to auto-fail morale. He didn't have enough CP to pass that at this point. We pretty much all blew our CP all the way down in the first turn. And then I astral aimed my Dreadnought in the back. He healed up 2d3. He was back up to like 6 wounds. I just tried to plink some shots. He doesn't really do anything, but he's holding the objective for me. And then my paladins charge these guys on the other side of the wall here. And basically I just wanted to pick them up, and I wanted to place the paladins to where they're still screening for my couple characters that are there, so that the Dread Knight, his Dreadnought is forced to shoot at the paladins if he wants to get through to my characters. So I did that. I picked up another squad in combat with them and just kind of killed a bunch of guys, held some. I got it behind enemy lines. I got a recon, so I'm up to like 9 points right now on this turn. Then going into his turn, he moves his Dreadnought to where you can see the paladins. Like I had one paladin guy right there where you could like barely see his spear. So I'm like, okay, great. I'm going to eat that. I don't have enough CP to do my half damage. So I only have 1 CP left right now, so I can't do the half or the -1 damage to them in shooting, which would be really good. If I was able to have 2 CP to do that, it would have been really, really good. Instead he shoots it. I lose, I think, like 4 more guys in from the Dreadnought shooting at them. And he shoots a couple other guys at him. I end up having like 2 paladins left at the end of that. Maybe that's in combat. So then he doesn't kill them all like he wanted to. He plinks more wounds off my Dread Knight in the back. He goes down pretty severely with a 6 damage las cannon shot, so that was really good. That hurt. And then he is going to basically try to shoot the Dread Knight in the back. Can't see him with anything. So then he starts shooting at the squad of a couple guys left, strike squad on the side. Gets it down, 1 guy's left. So now he hasn't killed anything, which is super, crappy for him. So nothing's died. So he's like, all right, I'm going to charge you. He charges me with the Smash Captain and with the Chaplain Dreadnought. And I lose 1 paladin out of that. I basically saved everything. I attack him back. I take some wounds off of both, but I don't kill anything. So he basically ends up not killing anything with that. The strike squad passes his morale. So that was a really big turn for me because he didn't kill one, and I killed more, and I held more. I guess we hold the same on this one, so no holding more, but I do get kill more. So now it's my turn. I'm moving my Dread Knights up. I'm going close to him in the back there to shoot him and charge him, and basically creating room for some strike squads to come in. And then this guy in the front, this is kind of where I made a really, really big misplay here. I got really greedy with my characters because I was like, oh, I'm going to use some smite. Well, his 5-up Feel No Pains just like mitigate my smite like no other. So I moved my characters on the other side of this L here, which super exposed them to be getting shot. And then I end up just doing some smites, but then in the charge phase, I'll show you kind of how I really messed up. When you're playing Grey Knights, you really want to be careful with your characters. I get really greedy with my characters, and I need to play a little bit safer with them, because right now I have 3 characters right there in the middle that are exposed to that Dreadnought, and exposed to 2 Chaplain Dreadnoughts and things like that. So it's very, very risky play. And I was hoping that I was just going to charge him and kill him a bunch. So right here, I'm just trying to pick up his flak a little bit more. I'm using smites. I'm shooting all his infantry guys and whatnot. And I'm just ignoring that big Dreadnought as much as I can. Like, there's no reason for it. I set myself up here to get double behind enemy lines. That's why I dropped those strike squads in the back, and double recon. So I gated my my Tech Marine up into this box on the right hand side to help with the double recon over there. So I was really going for my secondary points here to help me get those closer to max. And then I'm just shooting as much stuff as I can. And his 5 of Field No Pains definitely help him a lot. Try to take out the Thunderfire Cannon. Doesn't really do anything. I think I take like 2 wounds off of it only. Nothing big there. And then I decide I'm going to charge. So the Paladins are in combat already. My Dread Knight gets a really big charge, so I bring him around the wall right there. In theory, what I should have done is not brought him around the wall. I should have left him on the other side of the wall, and it probably would have changed a lot of stuff with him. So I bring him on this other side of the wall so that he could kill the Dreadnought, and then Voldus charges both of them, and then I have the brother captain charge the other squad. So unfortunately, enough damage was not dealt to do what I needed to do. And even worse is I kill the Dreadnought, it blows up. So now it does a bunch of wounds. It picks up one of the Paladins, which if I had that other Paladin, maybe I would have been able to swing a little bit differently. But instead I can't do that. So Voldus cleans him up, but now he's on that side of the wall just kind of by himself. I have 1 Paladin kind of screening for him. But he's too close to the wall. Like, I just should have never brought him into that combat. He should have still been super far back. And then the brother is there in the corner kind of by himself now. There's 1 guy left in his infantry squad right there. He stays alive, so then he pulls him out at the end of the next turn. So now I'm in a situation where I have a Dread Knight that is super low in wounds, 2 wounds left on him. And so he's susceptible to being picked up, a single Paladin, and a brother captain. And he's got all that stuff there that can shoot me and charge me if I wanted to. So what I did do, which was good, is I made it to where the Paladin is on the other side of that wall. So he has to either kill the Dread Knight and the Paladin before he can shoot that his Dreadnought, or he's got to move him. So I make him retreat with that guy, which is really good for me, because it allows me to maintain kind of a little bit more board control presence. So he starts to bring him back, and then he shoots basically everything, all these bolters at my Dread Knight that has 2 wounds. Just nothing's wounding. I'm making all the saves, and he's basically staying alive. So he puts almost everything into there, and nothing happens. Then he does finally pick him up with some fire, but it took a lot to kill him. And then he decides that he's going to put the Dreadnought. He was going to shoot him at my Dread Knight, but because he has Sanctuary and stuff like that, he decides instead that he's going to kill the Paladins and kill the brother. So he dumps the Dreadnought into there, puts a bunch more fire into the Paladin, and he just picks up both of those guys. So now all 3 of them are dead. Voldus is there on the wall, which is a really bad situation for me. So he gets charged by a Dreadnought. He was thinking about charging him with other stuff, but the Chaplain Dreadnought goes in there, charges him, and just says bye-bye, Voldus. So unfortunately, I couldn't make my saves there with the flat 3 damage. It was just a little too much. So yeah, he picks up a lot of stuff right there, which not ideal for me at all. So that was kind of scary, kind of depleted me. So now I went, okay, I have to be super defensive for the rest of this game because I have to live out more turns. So now I I basically want to get my strike squads up in this back corner to hold an objective, hold recon again, hold behind enemy lines. And then I'm just like, okay, my Dread Knight is going to have to just soak up some wounds, hopefully. So I kind of positioned him to where he has to keep moving to be able to shoot me. My Tech Marine is just kind of gating around doing nothing. I can never get him in a position to heal up my Dread Knight, unfortunately, because I should have been with that other Dread Knight to heal him up for 2 turns in a row, and I wasn't. So lesson learned there that it's probably better to walk him with my Dread Knight. And he just kind of gates across to get recon on the other side there and kind of those little sea ruins. And I retreat my characters in the middle onto my objective to just literally make it to where I'm holding more, because I'm holding 3. I'm threatening this other objective over here. He can't really reach it, so I know I'm going to get hold more. I tried to advance. I didn't get a long enough advance to get my guys up onto boxes to hold an objective a turn early, because I was going to try to bonus for a couple turns, but I didn't run far enough to do that. So pretty much nothing happened there. I picked up the Thunderfire Cannon, and that's about it. I just kind of shot everything at it. I actually turned my sights to the Tech Marine for it, and I tried to pick up a couple wounds off of the Chaplain Dreadnought, but that's all I killed there. Nothing too crazy. Then he tries to put everything into my Dread Knight. He just makes all his saves with the Sanctuary. Takes like 2 wounds. That's it. He's trying to run up to get King of the Hill, and then onto my turn. I'm getting in position here to just kind of bunker down and stay alive, and I'm trying to mitigate him from getting kills, and I'm just hoping that I can make saves or they miss the rolls to hit and wound on my Dread Knight. So that's really all I could do at this point to just mitigate the amount of points he can get and maximize what I can get, because my secondaries are done, so it's all about killing more, holding more. So I'm trying to deny him getting kills, because I don't think I'm gonna pick up stuff too easily. I don't have enough shooting to pick up any of his infantry squads. Like, he keeps healing, so he's a squad of 7, squad of 8, squad of 9 at that point again. So there's not much I can kill. So now he runs up the board because he's going to try to get King of the Hill, and then he wants to try to charge me because he has to get kills essentially, so he's forced to kind of do that. And man, do Intercessors get a lot of swings in combat. Holy crap. So that's kind of what he decided to do in that middle, was go for my characters. It might not be the best matchup for him, but it allows him to have control of more objectives to stop me from getting hold more. In the back there, he picks up 4 guys with the Dreadnought. He decides to shoot at my strike squad to try to pick them up. Kills 4 guys only. I do pass morale with him, so he stays alive. And then I'll be able to get that bonus with him on the next turn, which is really good. Then we got this combat action here. He takes 4 wounds off of my Chaplain out of his 5 with his million attacks. So I live with 1, I attack back, I kill a few guys, but we just kind of stay in combat there. And then going into my last turn there, I kind of move my Librarian up, I move my Tech Marine over there, I smite some of those guys, and I try to charge with the Tech Marine to help clean them up, but I don't get it. So I kill a couple more in combat, but then he ends up picking up my Chaplain in combat, so that's kind of how that combat, wrapped up, is he kills him, which is going to give him, kill more already on my turn. So because I don't kill anything, again, I'm just like holding stuff, getting the bonus, trying to get the bonus, and staying alive. So he ends up getting kill 1, hold 1 at the end of that, and the end of the game, it was 26-22 Grey Knights. So I did win this one. It was a very close game, very good game. But yeah, thanks again, everybody, for watching. Let us know if you want to see these in full games, and we can record them like that as well. Damian, Thomas have some coming to you. Again, like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun things. Thank you.